In this corner, the blue corner from Birmingham, will you please welcome the Midlands Area Heavyweight Champion, Al Malcolm. And in this corner, ladies and gentlemen, the red corner from Canada and London, the Olympic and Commonwealth Super Heavyweight Champion, former World Junior Amateur Super Heavyweight Champion, Lennox Lewis.
Bit of a mixed reaction for Lennox Lewis at Albert's Hall. I thought that the ovation would have been more in favor of him, but there was actually a few boos for him there, right?
Well, I think so. Obviously, Frank Maloney's marketing didn't do too well, at least in appreciation of Lennox. The one thing that I noticed immediately, Jim, is that Lennox Lewis is sweating profusely. He has obviously been doing some workout in the dressing room prior to him coming out into the ring. Al Malcolm is as dry as a bone.
Prior to the fight taking place, Lewis did a number of weeks training at the Catskills in New York State with his trainer John Davenport. Davenport has been having trouble getting permission to work with Lewis in England. If this continues to happen, if Lewis wants to fight in England or in Europe and has to train in North America, what kind of an effect is that going to have on him?
Well, depending where he fights as well. I mean, there's no better place for a professional fighter to spar and train would be in the United States. So in that respect, that will not affect him to any great degree. And I suspect that's exactly what will happen if Davenport does not get the immigration status.
What would be going through his mind right now? He's got to be a little nervous. First time as a professional, first time in the ring without a shirt. That's one of the stories that I always remember about Sean O'Sullivan, saying he was really nervous about fighting with a shirt on for the first time.
Well, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of questions going through Lennox's mind right now, although
he was rocked with a left hook, Malcolm was, and Lewis obviously not wasting any time at all.
No, Lennox is out there to impress, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. It's still a little bit different style. Lennox is normally used to boxing a little bit more, and this is just not his forte, but he's obviously being trained for this pro styles, and he needs to impress. Some nice body work there. Oh!
Right to the body, set up the left hook that caught Malcolm on the jaw and sent him very quickly to the canvas. He looks like he's in trouble.
A terrific combination, it really was.
This is very early in the first round. Malcolm obviously in an awful lot of trouble as Lewis is dominated from the opening bell.
Malcolm should be holding on for dear life at this particular point in time, but he just doesn't seem to have the experience or expertise to do that. Lewis is trying to set it up with setting it up with the left hand. Very, very wild and amateurish right hand, but that'll come in time. I'm surprised by Lennox's coolness. He's staying away and he's trying to set this thing up.
Malcolm's already been down once in this first round. Tries a vicious left hook that misses wildly. Lewis doing a good job of tying him up.
Yeah, I'm very surprised he's just not going all out, which would be your first reaction when you have somebody as hurt as he obviously did. But Lennox is really taking his time. Good inside work there by Al Malcolm, but that had no effect at all on Lennox. Nice combinations there by Lewis.
Four-punch combination, all of them finding the mark, trying to follow through with the uppercuts.
Lennox needs to take one step back now and to really get leverage into his punches. Again, this will all come in time as well. But he is showing he certainly isn't concerned about the professional ranks at this particular level in any event.
Well, Frank Maloney, his manager, has made it very, very clear that the path to stardom for Lennox Lewis as a professional has been clearly mapped out. They're looking for a shot at the British title possibly within a year, maybe the European title in 2 years, and they say that they could be ready for Mike Tyson in 3 years. He's obviously not ready for the heavyweight champion now.
Well, not quite, but that was a pretty impressive first round, and Lennox...
Welcome back to TSN Control in Toronto for our boxing special. I'm Jim Van Horn along with Ray Rutter. We're looking back on the Lennox Lewis pro debut that happened in London, England earlier this week. And we saw the first round, and he looked pretty impressive in that first round. And he didn't take too long to dispatch Mr. Malcolm in the second.
From what I understand, I'm quite looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't blink your eyes at this one.
All right, let's take a look at the second round. Lennox Lewis against Al Malcolm. Malcolm in the white trunks with a record of 10-12-2. That's Lennox Lewis making his professional debut in the gold. And the second round ended very, very quickly. The controversy was whether or not Malcolm was actually hit and went down.
Well, I can't see a punch of any great power landing on Mr. Malcolm that particular round. Hopefully we're going to have a replay on this, but this is exactly what we were alluding to earlier on in the telecast about a bit of controversy.
Well, they seemed to meet in the middle of the ring. Malcolm went down very, very suddenly. Lennox Lewis obviously very, very pleased with the turn of events, but again, it's very, very difficult to determine whether or not there was a punch thrown by Lewis. The fight obviously is over, and we're going to get the official decision from ringside in London to find out the exact time of the completion of this bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, after
completion. Debut in the gold, and the second round ended very, very quickly. The controversy was whether or not Malcolm was actually hit and went down. Gold, and the second round ended very, very quickly. The controversy was whether or not Malcolm was actually hit and went down.
Well, I can't see a punch of any great power landing on Mr. Malcolm.
Debut in the gold, and the second round ended very, very quickly. The controversy was whether or not Malcolm was actually hit and went down.
Well, I can't see a punch of any great power landing on Mr. Malcolm that particular round. Hopefully we're going to have a replay on this, but this is exactly what we were alluding to earlier on in the telecast about a bit of controversy.
Well, they seemed to meet in the middle of the ring. Malcolm went down very, very suddenly. Lennox Lewis obviously very, very pleased with the turn of events, but again, it's very, very difficult to determine whether or not there was a punch thrown by Lewis. The fight obviously is over, and we're going to get the official decision from ringside in London to find out the exact time of the completion of this bout.
ladies